What's up, YouTube? Bringing you guys another video, a rambling video about something that y'all probably don't give two shits about. But in this video, I'm going to talk about how I've accurately guessed the sizes of my fish over the years. And right here is my largest and best looking roseline shark, also known as Denison barb. And over here is my second largest roseline. If you're wondering why they are making those funny mouth movements, it's because I just fed them and their mouths are full of worms and brine shrimp. But yeah, over the past several years, I've accurately guessed the sizes of my fish. If anything, I'm probably off by like 1/4 of an inch or so, if I ever am off. But I did finally manage to get a little measuring tape up to this big guy over here. And he came out to exactly 5 inches. Zoom back out. And that was exactly my guess at the size he was, 5 inches. And how I estimated that was, normally when I measure my fish, I usually can't measure my fish until they're already dead, because obviously when I stick a tape measure up to them or a ruler, they will just dart away instantly. Or I just can't get them to line up perfectly with the tape measure. But I found a little thin white measuring tape. Here's my big ass pleco. And I stuck it up to my largest roseline, and he actually sat still right along the glass for about 2 seconds, and that was just long enough for me to get a reading, and he came out to exactly 5 inches. Normally I don't get to measure roselines until they're dead, because if you stick a tape measure up to these guys, they will dart away instantly. Something scared the pleco. But yeah. So like, I originally guessed this guy to be about 5 inches, and I was exactly correct. I was spot on. And how I guessed him to be 5 inches was, I had a roseline die a few months ago that was a little bit smaller than this roseline, and also a little bit smaller than that roseline. And it was 4.5 inches. And then, so with that one being a little bit smaller than those two, I guessed this guy to be about 5 inches. And then I also lost a rainbow shark that was 5.5 inches. And so with my two largest roselines being like right in between those two fish that I measured, that's how I estimate them. Now, the pleco I actually did measure. Plecos are pretty easy when they're sucking right up on the glass. And yeah, I might have exaggerated a little bit about his size. Like, I always call him my foot-long pleco, but when I actually measured him, he came out to 11 3/4 inches. Yeah, I clickbaited y'all. He's not 12 inches, he's 11 3/4. Okay, might as well just be a foot long. But yeah, and a lot of you guys will get the impression that my second largest roseline here is the largest roseline, but nope, he is the second largest. He is noticeably thicker than my largest roseline, but he is just about 1/4 of an inch, maybe less than 1/4 of an inch shorter than the big guy here. And you guys probably already know, especially if you're coming from Facebook, you guys probably already know that my biggest roseline is my favorite fish in the tank. And it's not only because he's the biggest, but he has like the best coloring on him. He has that fully mature roseline coloration that these fish are known for. Like, not only does he have that nice red line on him, but he also has that green coloration going down his back. Now, there's certain areas of the tank where you can't see it all that well, But yeah, all the rest of the rose lines, they don't really have that very vibrant green coloration. Like this one has like a very dark coloration on his back, but the big guy has it like going all the way down his back. And then you have this weird looking one, and then there's one rose line in here that has like very rather dull coloration. Could be a female, if I could find that rose line. There's my third largest rose line, or well, this one's actually tied with another rose line for the third largest spot. This one hasn't grown at all since I got it. It's always been this size, and he does have a slight bend in his spine, probably stunted. Maybe the previous owner kept him in a smaller tank. Okay, this is the rose line that seems to have rather dull coloration. Then obviously the rest, there's like 4 juveniles in here. They haven't sprouted yet. But the fat one is not only thicker top to bottom, but also like wider than the big guy. And it could possibly be a female. So based on the big guy being exactly 5 inches, this one's got to be like 4 3/4, 4 7/8 of an inch. And I also did get an accurate measurement of the red-tailed shark. The red-tailed shark was actually bigger than I thought. I estimated him to be 3.5 inches. He's actually a solid 4 inches. Now these smaller fish like the rainbows, I have a harder time guessing the sizes of smaller fish. Anything that's smaller than like 4 inches, I can't really guesstimate their sizes all that well. My guess is that the turquoise rainbows and the 3 larger boesmanis are probably like 3 inches maybe. But yeah, 5 inches is actually not as big as you might think. 5 inches is actually what I consider to be a small fish. But obviously in roseline shark terms, that's a large roseline. And these rose lines are actually a lot bigger in person than they appear to be on camera. And then obviously you got these little rainbow sharks. I miss the good old days where I had those big ass rainbow sharks and red tail sharks, but they're all gone now. They died of old age. But this big roseline is not the biggest roseline I've had. I've had some that were in the 6-inch range before. But I'm filming a video. I'm gonna finish it. Hold on. Yeah, I know. Okay, well, I'm not gonna start this video over. Yeah, you heard me yelling at people saying, shut up, I'm taking a video. There's a reason why I locked the door, but yeah. Yeah, so a lot of people, they'll see like a 6-inch fish and they'll be like, oh, it's about 4 inches. And then they measure, if they actually do measure, they're like, holy crap, 6 inches? The best way, also a good way you can compare, like, guess the sizes of your fish, take any dollar bill. And holy, this is what a 5-inch roseline looks like next to a foot-long pleco. Makes a 5-inch roseline look like a little minnow. And take any dollar bill and compare it, and like maybe tape it to the size of your aquarium. American dollar bills are 6 inches long, just to put things into perspective. And also when people like doing this, or like your hand is not the most accurate comparison because everybody has different sized hands. My hand is like from bottom of the palm to tip of middle finger, 7.5 inches long. So if I held this guy in my hand, he would look really small. Now, also, when you just stick your hand up to the glass like this, that's not going to work too well, because most of the time when you stick your hand up to the glass, those fish are going to back up away from the glass. And also, you can't just go by like the comparison to this 6-foot-long aquarium, because unless those fish are like directly like up against the glass, you're not going to be able to determine the size of the fish. That pearl gourami hates rainbow fish now for some reason. But yeah. Hope you're enjoying the close-ups of the rose lines. I'm still waiting to get video of this guy doing his little jackhammer behavior on the gravel. Sometimes he'll like be digging into the gravel and he'll be going right into the gravel in search of food. It's quite funny to watch. I'm surprised he doesn't have a banged up nose. Fucking asshole red-tailed shark. But yeah. And with these two big rose lines, I refer to the biggest one as Big Boy, and then my second largest rose line right here, I call him Fat Boy. Although I'm kind of starting to suspect that Fat Boy is actually a fat girl. And I don't think it'll be much longer before all the other rose lines catch up to the big guy. And I'm also starting to think that not in the very near future, Fat Boy might actually end up becoming the largest rose line because he has put on a lot of size. But Big Boy over here, he was already exactly this size when I got him, and he has not grown at all. So he's probably done growing, but all the others have some more growing to do. I have the little runt in here somewhere who's only 2.5 inches long. And then there's the 4 juveniles, including Banana over here, who is actually starting to get his black stripe in. When I first got him, that black stripe was almost completely gone. He's a funny looking rose line, but I think it looks cool that way. But yeah, that's all for today's little ramble. Not that anybody cares. We're not gonna play like the whole, oh, my dick is bigger than yours game, but with fish. But yeah, plecos. See like how inaccurate that comparison is? Like my hand is 7.5 inches long, but it just completely covered that foot-long pleco because obviously he's not right up against the glass, and then angles are also important. Yeah. A little close-up of big fat rose line and the big guy who doesn't want to come up to the camera right now. Oh, there's a little runt. But yeah, that does it for today's video. So like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next rambling video.